Hey guys, Swordfish here. This is officially the 5th year of Gotham City, so we're gonna have another tour video. And coming soon, Batman, the world's finest. I'm not gonna cover everything in this tour because there's a lot of new stuff that I'm gonna try to get to. This is Gotham Docks. In the background, we have the RMS Olympic, based off of the old Gotham City. This is a warehouse that was built by Porter Kitty. It was officially supposed to be a Star Labs at first, but then he changed his mind. Also, if I stutter, I'm sorry. I'm a little sick right now, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. And here's just a little storage closet that they had. I think Porter was gonna build a collider, is the story in that corner, but I'm not quite sure. And then over here we have some cargo crates. That's the ship over here. It's only 3 smokestacks on the top, and then we have cranes to lift up cargo from the ships to put them onto trailers. Now, as I wait for the next segue, I tell G goes, and there's the ocean over here. Now that we have like this slight shader on the world because G recorded this video. Shout out to GJS 2009, by the way. And I think this is the whole dock area. This is a fly around. But I want to ask you guys, how long have you been watching the channel? Are you an old fan, a new fan? You just discovered us? Because right now we're making a Batman World's Finest with a Superman collab, which takes place in the old universe. We're going back to basics like the Bat Z Gotham and how Bat Z did his role plays back in the day. Alright, well over here is the Jurassic Park Jeep from Jurassic Park 1, and I think it shows up in Jurassic Park 3 as well. But I think the difference is they have like a Spinosaurus on the doors. This is the Iceberg Lounge. The windows are orange for some reason because the texture pack isn't working. Maybe in the next video we'll fix that. But it was based off of the Batman, and in the Batman it's like a little nightclub instead of just like the Iceberg diner area. And then if we go upstairs, we can go into the Penguin's office. Over here is a little like pool table, an area for his goons to hang out. And then over here is the Penguin's office with umbrellas on the wall. And that's where he would be sitting as he makes plans. I wanted to do the circle window, but I don't think we found a way to make it work. Now, we did change a lot of stuff since the last tour. Now, over where the hospital used to be is now a factory. And here's one last look at the Iceberg Lounge. And then there's a factory over here. This is where the hospital used to be. There's a DeLorean for some reason. I guess G built it there to be a reference to the Twain Malls and Back to the Future 1. This is a little factory. It's maybe gonna lead into like an East Temple area, but the idea is we have more of like a rural area. Over here is Riddler's apartment from the Batman. And over here we have the Bat in the Cage with some letters and writing on the wall. And it's just very simple, simplistic, but it's right across the street from the diner. And then here's the cemetery. This is a little cathedral. It's based off of the cemetery from Batman. What was it? Shoot. Batman. Last Riddle. When Catwoman and Batman walk through the cemetery and visit his parents' graves. Alfred isn't buried in the same area for some reason, so that's canon for some reason. But we have some great names on the graves at G-Book, references to old studio members and actors, and like video ideas, I believe. Hopefully nothing's too offensive. Over here, RM's grave, RMPO, and his channel, Roleplay Days. If you were a real one, you know the whole RM war that we had back in like 2020. And it's still interesting that like most of the studio members remember those days because they're all together now. Like Chicken Legs, GJS was an RM guy, Porter Kitty 9, they're all pretty much RM guys, the ones that are still around. It's kind of interesting. But anyway, we'll get out of here. And this is over by the L train. The L train's the elevated train station in Gotham. We have an underpass in now. We changed up the interior on this building a couple months back. That way you can go underneath the tracks instead of having to like walk across the railroad tracks. It's more accurate. It's kind of like a subway in a way. And then we put some chairs for seating. And then over here is our L train. And then over here is my alibi. This is a, how do I explain this? Well, back in the day, there was an old Batman YouTuber called BatZ0867, and he explained it as a party room. Well, I'm just going to say it's a party area. Yeah, so this is where people go to party in Gotham City. And out back, we have a helicopter crash. We have like the leader of Batman reboot. I think Deadshot shut down the helicopter. And over here, we have a bar. This is supposed to be our Wildcats, I believe. Such a bar in the world. is a corner store. That's where all the outside shot of it. And then this is just a street view. We have everything covered up the pet shop in that house, and the dining room on the left. And there's a view of that really cool. If you go back and watch the old tour, we'll go into like the diner and Crown Alley, Monarchy. There's nothing changes there, but we do have this really cool poison ivy area. This is poison ivy's greenhouse on the top of her building, and this is ivy's den. And the idea is, next stone, we do a lot of poison ivy stuff, so I wanted to build an area for it. So here's her flowers, and just some plants around the greenhouse, roses. This is a broken window, we can fly out. Over here is the antenna with flying going off it, so if you were in the world, you could fly a motorcycle over the roof if you wanted to. And we have a bunch of buildings everywhere. We have a sideways building. This is supposed to be Killer Moth's hideout. Killer Moth owns this building in the world. Shout out to anybody that knows what Killer Moth is. And then we just have basically an overgrown cop car over here. It's supposed to be like a kind of like a Maze Runner dystopia world area. Kind of like a zombie apocalypse in a way that comes back from your dead end. There's like this place that is going offside on the building. And then over here, there's My Alibi billboard as well. Hopefully we'll go over towards GCPD so I can cover that in this video as well. But over here's like our little Chinatown area. Here we go, GCPD. This is the newest building in the world. The area around it's not built up. And once again, sorry about the orange windows. Hopefully it's fixed by the next tour. And in the bottom we have a little police parking lot area where the cops could park their cars, and then there's the opening desk where you have like your person that would greet them, your secretary. Over here's the garage. You go down into the basement, it's full of cop cars. It's a lot like the old Star Trek days, how we had the hangars for the like shuttle bags. Over here we have the police officers behind the counter. This takes you around so you can get in the chair. And you can be like the secretary. These steps you can go into the police barracks. There's a railing on the wall in case you want to fall. These are like the little like desk area from Batman Fallen Friend. And then we have a little bit of secretary, more locker rooms for the police to get changed in, armory where they could get their guns and everything. And then down here we have a little shooting range so they could practice shooting. Pretty cool. GJS built this area. He was basing a lot of the interior off of the like Lethal Weapon films. We talked about Lethal Weapon a lot, especially the 4th one and the thing. So that has a cool part. More of those little desk areas up top. Going into the secretary. Commissioner Gordon's room is over here, and it's the reason we don't go in there. Over here's a little cell area where they could lock up criminals that are just spending the night in prison for a day. Like low crimes, not like they'd put Joker in there, but like maybe like Common King or something, or Lock Face. And then up on the roof we have the bat signal as always, and that's pretty much it. Here's the bat signal on the roof view, and a helicopter pad where they could land. There's no police blimps, I don't know how they would land there. And then, oh wait, who's this? Superman on roof in Gotham City. Next video is going to be Batman World Finest. Please check it out when it comes out. Be good people. Bye. Sorry I've been gone so long, guys. Batman's going to be really good, I promise. So make sure you check it out when it comes out. Bye.